So the question, when you've got a vision like mission and evangelism at the heart of all we do, such a thrilling, outward-looking vision that calls the church, again in Pope Francis' words, to be bruised, hurting and dirty because it's out in the streets, which is what that vision calls us to, is what's going to happen. When we look out from the church, and when mission and evangelism is at the heart of all we do, then every person in the church becomes a witness to Jesus Christ. They seek to be out with those who are bruised and hurting as faithful Christian witnesses. Put yourself in a place where you're captured afresh by the love of Christ, where you're gripped afresh by the fact that each of us, in all our sinfulness and faults and hopelessness and uselessness to God, are somehow picked up by him, transformed and loved beyond our wildest imagination. The only reason that I do this job is because I belong to Jesus Christ. The only reason any of us are here is because we're caught up by Jesus Christ. And one of the extraordinary things is the more you talk about him, the more you realize the truth of that in your own life. Witness is a positive feedback. Mission and evangelism is a positive feedback. It energizes the church. Starting it is the difficult bit. There is no plan B for God, for this world. There's no alternative. This is it. And we are its witnesses, the people of God throughout the world. Evangelism is not an option for the church. Not all are evangelists, but all are witnesses. It is a priority that goes with worship. One of our fellow diocesan bishops told me that about 2 years ago, a parish in his very large diocese, it wasn't London, wrote to him and said, "Dear Bishop, we are very excited about what you're saying about witness and evangelism in this diocese. However, we don't feel we're ready for witness and evangelism. So we are not going to do any for 2 years while we think about it." They got a letter back that said, "You may imagine what I would write to you if you said you would not hold a Eucharist for the next 2 years because you weren't ready for worship." When we proclaim Jesus, we can't assume that people have ever heard of him. The news of the gospel is increasingly new news. The gift of unconditional love is so revolutionary. And we have to do it, and we have to proclaim it. Witness comes in, every Christian simply being able to witness what God has done for them in Christ. Not saying what anyone or everyone else has said, but simply saying what they know and what they don't know. And when they're asked the hard question, saying, "I don't know. But I do know this about Christ, about Jesus." And when people see it lived, many of them, not all, many of them are completely captivated by what they see. However, this work of God is made possible with prayer. It begins in prayer. Let us make space to invite the Spirit of God in this diocese, to wait on the Spirit of God, and to pray for the transforming presence of God, and in finding afresh in our own lives what it is to be captured by the love of Christ, to renew in ourselves our capacity to have something to which we witness, however feeble, however weak, however uncertain, that we are witnesses to the good news. Thank you.